The wait is over. The 2019 Rugby World Cup kicks off in Japan today. Hosts Japan take on Russia, while the most anticipated clash is between the Springboks and the All Blacks on Saturday. ENCA's Ronald Masinda is in Japan and joins us via Skype. Morning, Ronald. Great to see you. Tell us what the state of the nation is like as we approach the opening ceremony this morning for the kickoff of Rugby World Cup 2019.
Well, good afternoon, Jeffrey, from Tokyo, Japan, where history will be made later tonight. That is when host nation Japan becomes the first country in Asia to stage the Rugby World Cup. This year's edition being only the 9th edition of the Rugby World Cup. So just to give the viewers a bit of a sense of what I've experienced since I arrived here late last night and having done my own bit of sightseeing, there's not a lot of fanfare, which is what we normally are accustomed to for such a big tournament. In fact, I haven't seen any Japanese or local person wearing a replica jersey of the national team, and there hasn't been quite a lot of branding around the Rugby World Cup, which is a far cry if you look at some of the numbers which have been thrown around by the local organizing committee and World Rugby, where an anticipation of around $4 billion will be made during the course of the Rugby World Cup. And also in terms of ticket sales, at least 1.8 million tickets will be sold during the 48 matches that will take place here in Japan. Out of those tickets, 95% of those tickets have already been sold out. So we could see quite a large number of people. And also, just to add further, Jeffrey, Japan will obviously be in a state of euphoria later on as they take on Russia, who are ranked number 20 in the world. So we are anticipating quite a lot of excitement as the time builds on for that big kickoff, which happens here in Japan later tonight.
Just quickly, you mentioned that you haven't seen many rugby jerseys showing support for certain teams. Have you managed to chat with some of the locals or the fans that you have bumped into and get a sense of where the support base lies and who the favourites the fans are seeing as to take this World Cup?
In fact, I could safely say, Jeffrey, that there are quite a number of people who don't actually follow rugby or know that Japan will be hosting the Rugby World Cup, where much of the focus really has been on next year's Olympics, which takes place here in Tokyo. So that seems to be seen as a dress rehearsal by many in terms of hosting a big sporting event. But just to add to some of the fans that we've seen quite a lot of South Africans, especially on the flight that I was on coming here to Japan. A lot of them anticipating great things from Rassie Erasmus and his men. Of course, a lot has been said building up to tomorrow's game that takes place in Yokohama. Between the two coaches, Rassie Erasmus actually saying that he would like to see a fair referee in terms of the game that will take place tomorrow. And Steve Hansen hitting out to say that Rassie Erasmus, that was actually unfair, to suggest that the referee might be biased. So a lot of fighting talk ahead of arguably the biggest game in the group stages of the Rugby World Cup. But also there's also a number of games to look forward to. In terms of tonight's game, Russia versus Japan. Japan will obviously go in as favorites, but the last time the two teams met, Japan actually got quite a big surprise last year in November, where they actually won Russia by 32 points to 27. So they will know that Russia will certainly not be any pushovers. Russia themselves making their second appearance at the Rugby World Cup, having played in the 2011 edition. So Japan will, although they will be favorites, the host nations have generally had a good outings in their first matches. So Japan will take a lot of confidence in that. And also, let's not forget that it was Japan who actually shocked the rugby world, beating the Springboks in their opening match of the 2015 edition. So they'll hopefully look for more of the same going into this tournament.
Thanks so much. That was our man in Japan, Ronald Masinda.